Today I'm reviewing the Samsung 55-inch Class OLED S95F 4K glare-free Smart TV, 2026 model. If at any point you want to check current pricing or availability, it's linked below. I've been living with this set in a medium-sized living space over the past couple of weeks, watching movies, gaming, daily streaming, and typical TV use. This review reflects how it actually behaves in real home conditions, not just what's on the spec list. Let's set expectations early. This is not a budget TV. It's not a tiny display you'll see across from a sofa in an apartment bedroom. And it's not designed to replace a dedicated projector for huge darkroom cinema. What it is a premium 55 inches OLED with a focus on picture precision, smooth motion, adaptive performance, and a modern smart experience. The first thing you notice when you power it up is contrast. OLED means each pixel can turn completely off, and in everyday viewing that results in very deep blacks that hold detail rather than wash out. Night scenes in films look intentional, not grayish or lifted. Color performance feels rich yet balanced. Wide palettes for HDR content yield vibrant highlights without feeling artificial. Foliage, skies, skin tones, and saturated tones all stay natural rather than overspun. The glare-free screen coating makes a practical difference in brighter rooms. I've had sunlight fall across the screen without it turning into a distracting mirror. That doesn't mean reflections vanish entirely, but they're much less intrusive than on glossy panels. Motion handling with the Motion Xcelerator and up to 164 Hz refresh feels perceptibly smoother when pushed. Sports sequences, rapid camera pans, and gaming action come through with less blur than typical 60 Hz screens. It's not artificially oversmoothed, just cleaner movement that's easier on the eyes. On the smart side, the NQ4 AI Gen3 Processor keeps navigation responsive and handles upscaling well. Apps open swiftly, menus transition without lag, and streaming runs reliably across services. Audio performance here is noticeably better than most flat-panel speakers. Dolby Atmos content benefits from spatial cues that feel wider than average for built-in sound. That said, a dedicated soundbar still provides fuller impact and depth if you want more immersive home theater sound. Thermals are appropriate. In everyday use there's no noticeable heat buildup, and there are no fans or audible noise from the TV itself. Now let's be honest about limitations. Brightness peaks are strong for most HDR usage, but in direct sunlight or in extremely bright rooms you'll still benefit from careful placement or controlled lighting. OLED in general isn't about sheer lumens, it's about contrast. So very bright highlights won't match the peaks of some premium mini LEDs, but they're still very capable. If your room has big windows and constant direct light, you'll still see some reflection. The coating helps, it doesn't make it invisible. Another consideration is panel size. At 55 inches this is immersive, but it's not the colossal centerpiece some people want for shared living room cinema scale. If you're sitting farther away or prefer giant screens, larger variants might feel more impactful. In comparison to high-end LCD variants, the black level and contrast advantage here is clear. Scenes with shadow detail feel more intentional rather than lifted into gray. Compared to other OLEDs in the same class, this model's tuning leans toward balanced picture fidelity rather than oversaturated punch. Where this makes the most sense is for buyers who want very deep blacks and strong contrast, appreciate smooth motion for sports and gaming, watch a mix of movies, shows, and HDR content, prefer a modern smart interface with responsive navigation, care about realistic colors over exaggerated saturation. If your priority is extremely bright peak output for bright room glare, a high-end LCD might offer more raw lumens. If you want massive built-in audio impact without ancillary gear, you'll still benefit from adding a dedicated system. Overall, the Samsung S95F feels engineered for real-world viewing. It balances contrast, motion clarity, and smart usability without overselling its strengths. Check current pricing below and evaluate it against your needs.